Hey everybody, welcome to some more Blood and Plunder videos here as we start another series of faction reviews, or quick overviews rather. This time getting into the French, so we'll have several videos on this as we work our way through again the various factions and some of the named special factions or sub-factions within the larger French forces here. So we're starting off with a French Caribbean militia list. So as we've seen with English and Spanish, roughly equivalent in the fact, again, that they're going to be a lot of slightly lower quality troops, but it's still fun to look at some of the things that the militia can do. And this covers a pretty broad path here, so 1635 to 1713. So taking a look at some of the force special rules here. So once per turn, so it's always nice when it's a once per turn as opposed to a once per game. So once per turn, a single unit in this force that is not mounted and is not assigned may take a free move action at the end of its activation. This action, however, cannot be used to initiate or move away from a melee combat. So basically, doesn't really give you a free charge or flee, but that extra move over time certainly is going to be powerful, right? Especially if you happen to draw maybe into a card or activation that isn't favorable for you that turn. Sometimes having that extra move action could be quite useful. So the core of this is going to be the Miliciens, the Buccaneers, and the Milice des Caribes. So again, some of the slightly lower quality troops, although Buccaneers are still very, very good. But we'll take a look at those in due detail. Supporting units here, you get quite a few. So you have access to flibustiers, always great. There, the Infanterie, Milice Cheval, so some mounted guys, mounted units there. Artillerie de Milice, or Marins, and Buccaneer, and Engagés. So you have some very solid support units, but again, are going to be a little bit more limited in how many of those we can bring to the field, as opposed to the core, really, of the list. Again, more militia-based troops there. Commander options, any French militia commanders, Jean Pinel or Julien Lambert. Again, we'll take a look at special characters in due time. Now you have some options here as well if you want to go with what's called the Tortuga or Petit Guave militia. So if you use this option, flibustiers actually become core, so giving you a very good unit as core, and the Miliciens and Buccaneers become support. So you're basically swapping out a couple different things here. So you basically would have flibustiers and Milice des Caribes as core, but getting rid of the Miliciens and Buccaneers to the support role there. So could be a viable swap option. Then finally, you have another option, Troupe à Cheval. So if you want to go mounted, this force may take Milice à Cheval as a core unit if it includes at least 2 units of them, and its commander is mounted as well. So basically it gives you sort of a mobile militia list here, which is a nice swap as well. And then if we go to towards the larger games, we have some army scale allies here. So we could ally with the Caribs, the Caribbean tribes, chasseurs, French buccaneers, or French expeditionary forces lists as well. So as you might expect, some of those there. So again, in due time, we'll review all the unit types individually. But again, the Milice des Caribes and Miliciens, not overall the greatest. Buccaneers are always fine, but here having the flibustiers in support, you can still build a very, very good list out of this. But the swap option there to put flibustiers as core and dump the Buccaneers and Miliciens to support is a neat little trick that you can pull. And then also going full mounted, essentially. Not necessarily full mounted, but mostly mounted, depending on the size of the game. So, at least 2 units of them being mounted there, the Milice Cheval, and then having a mounted commander backed up by some guys on foot, or really, I suppose you could go all Milice Cheval if you wanted to. So that is a fun little faction. So again, just as I wouldn't say necessarily beginner faction, so all of these are certainly viable, but it's a nice, easy one to get into if you're just starting French. You don't want to get too fancy with any of the rules or too specialized. Just a basic list here. The French Caribbean militia is a very solid one. So similar again to the French and Spanish, or sorry, not French, Spanish, English and Spanish militias that we've seen. Although again, each is going to be doing its own unique things. So overall, something worth trying out. Let us know if you've had success with the Caribbean militia and any of the force options. Love to hear your stories on that. We'll be working our way again through the other French factions here in due time, but always a fun one to come back to and try to explore new wrinkles with either the standard list or some of the force options as well, and seeing what the special characters can bring to the table as well. So hope you enjoyed a quick look at these guys. Definitely something to try out if you're new to the French or even more experienced. It's always fun to come back and try some new things with the army lists here. So thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll have more Blood and Plunder for you very, very soon. And be sure to like and subscribe. And again, we'd love to hear your stories on how your games have played out with this faction. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.